And, Gene, the festival had the world premiere last week of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which just had the audience tearing up the seats with joy.
Yeah, and also, I think tearing up a little my enjoyment of the film. They were applauding even during the credits. As Jack Nicholson's name came on the screen for the credits, the place went wild. Same thing for the director, Milos Forman.
They even applauded the cinematographer.
Yeah, there were two of them, too.
Yeah.
And the film is based on Ken Kesey's 1962 novel about a guy who is taken from a work farm over to a mental institution to be tested to see if he's faking it or not, to see if he's mentally ill also. And the film stars Jack Nicholson as that mental patient, and it's another aggressive, enthusiastic role for Nicholson. Some people, especially the people at United Artists who are trying to sell tickets to you, are putting out the theory that this may be Nicholson's 5th Academy Award nomination in 6 years.
It certainly is the case that it's often been bridesmaid but never a bride for Nicholson. He's been nominated again and again. He makes that trek out to the Santa Monica Boulevard or the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion every year, and he never wins anything. He was nominated for the first time and as a supporting actor in Easy Rider. He played kind of a drunken Southern lawyer. I thought the picture really came alive when he was on the screen. Wasn't so good when he wasn't.
Then I think he had his best leading performance in 5 Easy Pieces, where he plays Robert Arroyoca Dupuy, a failed pianist who's masquerading as an oil rigger, and it was a great performance by Jack.
Also, The Last Detail, he played a Marine Shore Patrol, picking up a guy and taking him off to the brig.
And then as the detective in Chinatown.
I thought that was the best American movie of last year, Roman Polanski's Chinatown, with Nicholson as a private eye in Los Angeles.
Now, in this film, Nicholson plays the patient, and he has right away an early confrontation with an evil nurse named Ratched.
From One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The part of Nurse Ratched, the big nurse, is played by an actress named Louise Fletcher. Some of you may have seen her in the Robert Altman film, Thieves Like Us, which is really the film she was discovered in. Altman, once again, making one of these discoveries of ordinary people who seem to have extraordinary abilities.
She was the wife of the producer, is the wife of the producer of that film, Jerry Bick. And
maybe that helped Altman to discover her.
I think so. You know, I expected a good performance out of Nicholson, and he gave a good one. But she really surprised me. In the film, or in the book, Nurse Ratched, called the Big Nurse in the book, is just a real evil person. She's sort of like a machine. There's a lot of machine imagery in the book. And in this film, Louise Fletcher brings another component to the film completely. She has sort of a ambiguous sexual attraction to Nicholson, so you really don't know any kind of direction and way the film's going to go. So I thought her performance surprised me and was one of the pleasant surprises in the film.
It's a good film. It's a little bit of a disappointing film, I think. It wasn't quite the overwhelming experience that I'd expected, and I think one of the problems was that Forman didn't just stay with the human elements of these people. We meet the people in the ward, we begin to care about them and their problems, and that's good. And Nicholson is good when he's interacting with those people, but when Forman backs up and tries to make his big points about the establishment and authority and sanity and insanity, I think at that point the movie loses its touch a little bit.
I think he also backs up in trying to give Nicholson so many great scenes. It's almost like United Artists can count another $1 million in gross every time Nicholson will have a riot scene, and there's so many, and the film is packed so solid that I think that the essence of Jack Nicholson is lost just by overkill sometimes.
All the same, the audience did love it, as we mentioned, at the film festival, and it loved it for scenes like this one. Nicholson has all the guys out playing basketball, including about a 30-ish Indian chief who hasn't spoken in 12 years. He's allegedly a deaf mute. And as we can see in this clip, the chief is not exactly a natural athlete. Later on in the film, the chief really does get into basketball, and when he really starts to play, that's one of the great moments, really. The audience really loved it. So did I.
You know, we've been talking sort of negatively about the film. I think that's maybe because we have such great expectations for Nicholson. He's my favorite actor. Milos Forman is a distinguished director, a very subtle one. And in this film, there's a little bit of heavy hand being laid on. And so when we have high expectations, sometimes we're really rough on the films that we like, and the films that we don't really expect anything from, we're a little bit easy on.
We shouldn't allow it to be lost in our discussion that we do think it's a good film.
Yeah, and one worth seeing. It's playing right now, I guess, at the Esquire Theater, and it's going to be there for a long time. It's going to be a very popular film.
And as I think I mentioned, it had its world premiere here last week in the Chicago International Film Festival. One of the real coups for the festival was getting Nicholson and Forman to come in, and this was the 11th year for the festival, which started out, Gene, you and I can remember when it could have been held in a hotel room. Some few people turned up.
I can remember when some of the films that they showed deserved being shown in a hotel room.
Probably were photographed there, too. But this year they had more than 80,000 people. They had in attendance. They had more than 38 films, 30 of them in competition from 20 different countries. And one of the things that I liked about it was the opportunity to see a film like the Australian film, Sunday Too Far Away, because a festival discovers these films and brings them in. They're the kind of films that when you hear them described, they don't sound like anything you'd want to see. Sheep shearing in Australia, it just doesn't really turn you on.
What turned me on about the film is that these guys come across sort of like the lost cowboys. I'd like to see American films about some artisans out in the West, and we got to see these sheep shearers, and they're a breed apart, and we wouldn't have seen the film, it's true. It would never have played a commercial theater if it wasn't for the Chicago Festival.